If you are in the crypto market right now, this particular week is going to be the most important week for next 6 months to a year. Why? Because this is going to be a macro week. You're going to get the CPI on June 13th, and after that, you're going to get the Fed deciding how much they should hike. Now, the market suggests that they may actually go for another 25 basis points, and some even suggest they may go for a higher rate. But what's more important here? You're looking at historical price fluctuation in oil, which shows the demand of the economy, and if that's about to drop, we know what happens after that. And now this is not about last 1 year or 2 year. You can slowly zoom out, go look at last 5-6 years, zoom out, go look at last 10-15 years. You still get to see the same exact pattern repeating again and again and again. And if that shows you something, you should be looking at how the crypto market is reacting to that, because at this point it really is important. Bitcoin just got the weekly candle close, which actually closed below the 21-day moving average. That is concerning. Now, there are times when you get a reversal just at that zone. When we were thinking like we're going up, it went the other way. If that happens, that's great. But there are also times when you actually see the weekly candle coming down and closing below the 21-day moving average and getting another follow-up candle just like this. That was a massive movement actually, from 46,000 all the way down to 30,000 or just close to that. Which means we cannot actually neglect the fact that it is negative. You look at this range here, the candle closed below the 21-day moving average, and literally another 4 weeks you stayed there and continued the drop further towards 33,000. So it actually happened from 50,000 towards 35,000. So you actually get the narrative. If that thing is about to repeat, now we are looking for $22,000 to $21,000 per Bitcoin. Now, XRP, what is that showing? Are we going to follow through and drop all the way down to 0.1, 0.2? Or are we going to go up? There is going to be some confusion in the market. But remember, most important thing is comparing everything in a macro market. You look at the NASDAQ, how it's doing. You look at the Dow Jones and what it is showing you. And then the macro cycle here. Now you get a bit of understanding. And we are just going to break all those down here. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you look at the crypto market, it is right now most important to look through the fundamentals as well as the technicals to understand the psychology of that particular asset. You need to look at how strong that asset is fundamentally and what the technicals suggest, because at some point, not everyone understands this, but technical become a lot more important along with the fundamentals. But then you know the timing side of this. Earlier today, we had this call saying, okay, we are about to break higher. Then we broke higher. I followed that up. And then we came back, retested and bounced. We followed that up. What happened? We went to the upside, bounced after that towards our resistance. So we told somewhere close to 0.53 is going to be a resistance. And now we are getting rejected at that level. So that's a short-term chart. But what is even more important right now is the weekly candle close itself. The weekly candle just gave us the idea that yes, the hanging man is now a reality. We didn't actually go above, we didn't close at 0.54 or 0.55. So that kind of gives the bears a little bit more certainty, saying, okay, maybe we are going down to test the moving average, say 0.44. Maybe we are going to wick a little bit lower, come close towards the next level of support, which is going to be the retest of the previous bottom, say 0.4, somewhere close to that range. Even at that point, you will understand that the entire market is going down, but this asset is trying to hold on. But keep this in mind on the macro. While we look at the macro and suggest that this particular asset can actually run higher, we also have to consider If we drop below that, the next level is somewhat like 0.385. So guys, if you're actually understanding the key point here, that means next 5 days is going to be crucial. Now, why would I say that? When you go on the daily chart, you actually also see that we broke higher. We are working on a pattern itself, and that pattern is a inverse head and shoulder, where if we manage to bounce from that 0.45 level and break 0.55, now things change in a market where everything moves down. If this asset has the ability to push higher, you now get a lot of people following into this asset. You know, the monkey jumping stuff. They go look at which asset is pumping, and if they are like, okay, that's moving higher, I want to get onto that asset, you will see people moving on and jumping onto these assets. But is the market mixed? Definitely, you're actually getting these things coming out in the market, which does look like, oh, that's bad. But understand this. Nigeria has always taken the stance like all the crypto assets are securities. So it's like, the brother of the US SEC for that instance. Now, with those kind of actions from the regulators, exchanges are like, it's really hard. They're actually delisting the Cardano, the Matic, the Solana, which doesn't actually look really good. Because if one institution is doing that, then the other institution slowly have to look at this like, okay, is the regulator going to screw me? Right? That is there. However, this does not change the fact that fundamentals are getting stronger and stronger. Not in the same region, the geographical region is different, but things are changing heavy in this side of things. Right now, they are about to go on their CBDC launch, and it is getting really interesting to see how they are looking at the blockchain industry and as a payment infrastructure. That's where the scrutiny for payment asset becomes a key area in next 6 months to a year. Why? While the CBDCs are being launched, they still have the international trades happening, and that's where these assets will play a major role. We just got the news from Ripple that XRP is about to play a major role. The XRP ledger is going to be a part of that infrastructure. We have always discussed about the possibility. Now, even though all this is happening, when the price drops, people kind of forget all of these fundamentals, right? They don't understand like, what the hell is happening? The price is going down. This asset doesn't go up. All those negative thought process just comes in. And that is where I try to visualize what's happening and what's most likely coming. If this price is about to drop and it comes somewhere close to 0.46, 0.45 and bounce off, this particular pattern is still relevant and valid. So will the price drop? For sure. If the market as a whole is dropping, then there is no doubt that XRP is also going to participate in that. Yes, we are all speculating on the Hinman emails and how things are going to move and what the hell is happening in the market. It's all true. But what we have to also understand is that particular date in 2 days, it's now super important, because right now you see that it is a macro date. You actually see the macro numbers coming out on that day. You actually see, followed by that, we're going to get hammered by this institution here. And then you also have the crypto meeting from the Congress. So you actually now get an idea like that particular date is so important, along with this particular week where the macro is going to come and touch these levels. Say, you look at the stock market. It's at a resistance right now. So if we manage to break this, now that's a different story. Now we are talking about upside, and what would be that upside in the stock market? That's another 8 to 10% move to the upside. But if we drop, now we are talking about a major drop, 11%, because you all know when the price goes up, 10% doesn't feel much. It's a good rally, but it doesn't feel much. But when the price drops more than 5%, people are freaking out. It's panic, it's fear, right? And then you look at the NASDAQ. It's actually grinding higher, pretty amazing rally, but it is at a resistance. And it is starting to show you a divergence in the RSI. So the RSI suggests, yeah, the price is at the all-time high, but I don't have the interest. I'm slowing down. The strength is reducing. That does create some level of panic. So now, coming back into the price action side of things, let's actually zoom in. Say, let's actually clear all of this and zoom in to look at what exactly is the market doing. So if we actually break down towards 0.51, say zero point 0.5 and bounce off, that is going to be something interesting to watch. But then again, you also have to remember on a similar horizon, Bitcoin, if it's about to drop hard, then now most of the other assets are going to actually choose the same route because the market as a whole shows you that sentiment shift. Now you can actually look at this and say, okay, we are slowly trending to the downside. The short-term intraday charts actually show you, yeah, we are going down, 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 down. We are not actually putting in a higher high here. We're consistently putting in lower highs, but at this point, something changed. We're not actually putting in lower lows. That is positive. So if we bounce off from this 25,500 level again, that shows more strength in the market at that particular level. Someone believing that this asset is about to go higher instead of dropping further. So that is a positive thinking process there. But remember, on the macro charts, the monthly charts, the quarterly charts, you are looking at a possibility which is still alive, suggesting you the price dropping towards 21, 22,000 is still bullish for this asset. So you may have a certain level of whale saying, okay, let me buy this asset close to 21 or 22. They may pull the price down, right? They may attract that price action to the downside and buy cheap while putting fear and panic into the market right now. So looking at XRP, if it breaks through this level, which is 0.55, which I told you is a key range, things change. If not, we are actually talking about a possibility where the price actually come back down to 0.45 to 0.55, that range. Now, let's actually reduce the noise in the market and then go on a daily chart. Look at like what is the price showing us? We are actually showing a level at which the price is acting as a support. So here that's 0.5, and if we break through 0.5, now, with some level of certainty, we can say we're going to come back down to 0.45. That's what we discussed earlier. Now, keep that in mind and go on to XRP Bitcoin side of things to see when the majority of altcoins are bleeding against Bitcoin, XRP is not doing that. It is amazing to watch this particular asset acting like this right now, while the entire market, especially the altcoin market, is getting hit hard. And if you remember, we've talked about a huge possibility where the entire market actually come down to a level which was like, it should have bounced from that level. But what happened? We broke that with the SEC news. Now, if you actually go on the macro chart, keeping that idea in mind, now we are talking about a major drop where the RSI was pushed back down to the level of support. So if we manage to bounce off this week, now we're trying to visualize a possibility here. Now that can happen, that may not happen, right? So these are all the possibilities in the market where we may actually see a inverse head and shoulder. Now, will that materialize completely? We don't know. We are looking at it on a macro scale, looking at the support resistance range and saying, okay, we managed to somehow hold on to this particular level. So if we bounce off, that trend line now becomes valid and it kind of gives some strength to the price action. But then you zoom in, you want to actually see like how the price action is reacting right now. Because if you actually zoom in here, we are able to see that last candle on a daily was just an inside candle, a doji. So whatever happens to this particular daily candle will show you the further direction. Because if we are going to retest the range here, we'll drop further. And a lot of these altcoins which have been bleeding are going to retest those lows. Great. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin actually plays a major role in the market. And if you watch XRP pushing high after the retest, it's most likely with all the speculation happening on June 13th. And now you're coming back onto Bitcoin. Short-term charts actually suggest to you that, yeah, I broke above, I'm coming back to the moving average, retesting this level. So if you are looking at the market on the short term, then you are looking for the support which turned into a resistance, which is 26,150. The price actually managed to break that particular level. Now there is some hope that market is looking at Bitcoin or crypto as a hedge. When the economy is going to crash on the other end, we may see more money coming into this direction. And it is really important to watch things like, say, for example, Soros handed over his wealth to his son. He's young, below 40, maybe 37 years old. That means in the technology side of things, they are looking at potential investments for sure. So when the price actually drops to the bottom, say at a big support level, these guys would be buying. Yeah, they will actually create a lot more panic in the market, make the entire retail segment sell off, and then buy these assets which they think is cheap for the long run. Now, while you actually go back, keep this in mind. The entire market, when it's dropping and you're observing a trend, always watch for the support and resistance trend line, because if the price is able to bounce off from this level, there is someone buying at these levels. And when the price action is showing you that I'm making a double bottom, there is a possibility, and the RSI gives you an idea that I'm bouncing off. Now it's interesting to watch, because if the price action happens to actually break through this pattern, now that adds to the bullishness in the market. That means you can actually get through this particular level, that's a short-term resistance, and reach close to 27,200, which again will act as another level of resistance. So this week is going to be crucial for the entire market, especially for the crypto market. Now, while watching this video, if you are receiving value, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that. And if you are looking for updates like this for a lot of different projects, while you follow all the projects looking at the fundamentals, because some coins may look attractive on the technical side of things when the fundamentals are like, nah, it doesn't look good, right? Whereas you have a set of assets which are looking fundamentally really strong, and then the technicals show you an opportunity. For some, it's like, nah, it's a good asset, but maybe wait for some time. And if you are looking for things like that, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.